Awesome bugs.
So what do we got going on here?
Dumping too much fuel still.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
You running risk or something?
Yeah, shooting the black smoke out. I was thinking the pressure regulator was bad, but
How you doing?
alright, I'm Jason.
Jason, I'm Danny. Otherwise known as Meal Speed. You might have heard Duttweiler say something about Meal Speed, so I'm the guy he's hollering about.
Fuel pressure gauge?
Yeah. Putting out the right amount, according to the old Andy Haynes manual. It's a Chrysler fuel gauge made to fit a Subaru.
So I'll be doing that.
What's up, John?
Hey man, what's up?
Yep. So what we got going on here?
I'm just trying to get this thing back together here so we can move it, so we can get something else in here.
For the movie?
We're just filming.
Bonus footage.
Yeah, this is our own little side project we got.
What's that supposed to, how's that going to work? Is that just going to be like a thing you guys post on the board or whatever?
I just figured I could have capture some footage of all this, the Subaru Alliance Meet. I'm going to be moving out to Wisconsin, so I get some shots of the whole Butler scene. Tim's welcome to use any of this he can put in the movie for bonus footage, but I thought I'd make my own side project anyway, so I just figured there's a camera here and shit's happening, might as well catch it on tape.
Okay, we'll have to be on our best behavior then, right?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I can't be having the cops over like old Jim, stalking people.
Well, grab a beer.
All right.
Yeah, you can get these they're called T-nuts. You put them in there and you can pop rivet them, and then you can just use standard. This is just standard SAE stuff.
So it's like a threaded insert then.
Right.
Okay.
It's just a matter of drilling out the old ones and then just putting those in there. So yeah, it's all back together. It's fairly straight. I changed the hood on it. I don't know if you noticed. The other one was all warped up. So. Let me show you this too, Miles.
Oh shit! Wow, that's pretty hefty.
Yeah, I got two of them. So, and I talked to Jim Morris from Lancaster too. He called over here earlier. He might be stopping by. He doesn't have his car with him though. His car's still down. So.
Yeah. What's all up with his car?
I haven't seen it yet. He's swapped the motor into it, and it's still not running right. So he says it's not getting spark.
Huh? He might have a bad distributor.
We tried a distributor. I gave him a distributor, put in there. I gave him an alternator.
What about that little transistor thing on the coil bracket? Ignition amplifier.
I don't know about that. I don't know if he's done anything about that or not. So that could be as simple as that. But it sounds like he's got, if you got time for it.
Yeah.
Sounds like he could probably.
It just sounds like an electrical thing, Yeah. It can be figured out.
Stuff like stereos always slow me down a little bit. And the weather has been shitty too, so I couldn't do the painting job. It'll be ready for the meet, I think.
So you've got all kinds of wiring for the radio up in the back somewhere, and
I haven't ran that piece yet. I need to go to the junkyard and get the one with the right connector on there, so I can run it back there. But if you look in here, you can see the dedicated grounds. I ran dedicated grounds back to this area here. And the believe it or not, that stereo unit's plugged right into a harness, right into the factory harness. So I was able to use the factory harness pretty much for everything.
Little starter button. Yeah. Here has been converted from a 4-speed full-time automatic to a part-time 4-wheel drive dual-range transmission. What was involved with that, we had to pull the motor out and had to change the transmission. Along with the transmission, we had to change the axles because the axle spline count is different. Along with that, we got new pads and rotors on there as well. In the rear, we had to change out the 3.7 gear to a 3.9 gear and use the existing rear suspension with new disc brakes.
This guy knows something about manual boost controllers.
Would that work?
Is that, you make that?
Yeah.
Is there like a little ball and a spring in it or something? Or?
Well, it's a pitcock valve. You screw it like this.
I need something like a ball and a spring, something that could like blow off, or be like adjustable to the air pressure itself.
Okay, yeah, this one.
And then you just adjust the tightness of the spring or whatever.
See, I made this for a manual fuel pressure regulator, but it doesn't seem to need one.
Car, Dan. Yeah. I bought this off Josh. I put new rotors and brakes on it yesterday and swapped the knuckle into that side. I needed a wheel bearing. Got the old one. I can show you that fucker. That's about to come apart.
95,
93.
Is the coil on these, the power circuit going to the coil, is it interrupted in any way by the ECM? Can the ECM interrupt that?
The power to the coil?
Yeah.
No, the power to the coil is on the ignition. If you run a hot wire from the battery to the coil, it'll kick on your car without the key in it. And then the coil itself, like say for example, if you were to yank the ECU out of here and put a carbureted motor in it and hook the distributor directly to the coil will still work. And just leave it hooked up like it was.
Because like it's like the sparks cutting out at higher RPMs.
You know,
and almost like a fuel cut, like the boost cut. But it's I didn't know if like the ECM was cutting the spark out or something. I thought about just running the hot wire to the coil. So
what about your distributor? Because the distributor tells the ECU when it wants to fire, and the ECU sends a low voltage signal to the amplifier on the coil bracket, and the amplifier on the coil bracket is what breaks the field in and out of the coil, which causes your spark.
So if the spark's cutting out then it could be that crank angle sensor down in...
Either that or I don't think it'll be the ignition amplifier, unless the ignition amplifier can't handle it. Maybe just get a bigger coil. Like what kind of RPMs is it cutting out?
About 3,500.
Oh really?
Because see, I had an MSD blaster coil and it did the same thing.
Maybe it's your throttle position sensor.
Yeah, it'll sputter and shit. Sometimes it don't pick back up, but most of the time it does.
Yeah,
I can take it for a ride in it.
I'd check out the throttle position sensor because the RX did that. You know, kind of cut out. We kind of took it apart and cleaned it up and clocked it a little bit, and it helped it out. You know, a considerable margin.
It's not really throwing any ECM codes or nothing.
There's like a wide open throttle switch and an idle switch, and then like the variable in between. And now the idle switch or the wide open switch will throw a code, but if it's like variable in between, if it's not within that range of movement, the ECU's not going to pick up on it.
I wonder if John has one laying around. We can swap out real quick and see.
Got, when it was 4x4, and then I traded for that, which is only 2-wheel drive, but it's EJ, so
Dash move and all that.
How many miles are on here?
197, 386. So that would be 197,386.
Yeah.